This is the 10x Your Business podcast with Itay Paz, session number 9. Hustle mode on. Let's do it.
Welcome to the 10x Your Business podcast, where it's all about 10x your business results. Get more clients, make more money, and have more free time. And now, your host, entrepreneur, best-selling author, trainer, and international speaker, Itay Paz.
Welcome back to the 10x Your Business podcast. I'm very excited about our guest today, Courtney Smith. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, great, and thank you very much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure.
So, I know you for many years, and we just, we were talking about you have a few more years in business than than myself. Usually when business owner goes and he goes into, this is the business, this is what I'm going to do, is so focused on one thing. And I'm looking into different, you're talking about wealth building. So this is what I'm looking, to understand, what do you do? What is your life and the wealth building vision of business owner and entrepreneur?
Well, actually, our company, we're traders. We trade stocks and futures and Forex options, but we also train people how to do those things. And I guess for me, so I have an aspect of a trader and also a small business person. What I love about both of them is that they enable me to live around the world. My company has 2 offices, one in Las Vegas, Nevada, and one in Singapore, which is where I am right now. But I can go all around the world. I was in Mumbai a couple of weeks ago. In 4 hours, I'm going to fly down to Sydney, Australia, spend a couple of weeks down there. I'll be I was in Taiwan 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I get an unbelievable lifestyle using small business, which is really all on the internet these days, and by being a trader. Now, in my past, I had the big jobs where I had to be in a set location, but now I own my own company and I get a much better lifestyle, that's for sure.
So, go ahead.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so what you're saying is, having a job or having a business, that's great, but you need to diversify. You need to do more stuff in order to build wealth.
Well, absolutely right. From our perspective, every small business person, the number one thing they want is more customers and more money. But sometimes they actually end up with some money in the bank, particularly after they've been going for a few years and they become a success. And so that's when they need to get their money to work for them. So if they have an opportunity to use that money to grow their business, they should definitely do that. But if they don't, we just simply don't want to have the money sitting in the bank, that's a total waste. That's where we come in, because we teach people how to get their money to work for them rather than them work for their money. So that creates a second income stream. I saw an interesting study recently that showed that the average multimillionaire had 7 streams of income, most of them passive or semi-passive. So yeah, diversification is good, but as a small business person, as well as I do, you get obsessed about your business, certainly until it gets to a certain size, when you can then step back and let other people do some of the work.
Absolutely. So I just want to say one thing. You were talking about passive income. So I don't know if anyone ever, the listeners went to the dictionary to look what is the definition of the dictionary of passive income. And passive income, it doesn't mean you sit, do nothing, and money just shows up. Passive income means that you need to do something in order to create it, and then you need to do just a little bit in order to maintain it over time. Not a huge work, but you still need to do it. So even if you go to stock investing or real estate or whatever it is, you need to do something in the beginning and then maintain it. And that's very important for people to understand what is passive income.
That's right. Passive income is, there's an old saying that you can't pick your father, but you can pick your father-in-law. So that might become passive income. But no, I'm just joking.
But sometimes sometimes, Courtney, don't you know that you meet your father-in-law, after, it's a lost cause?
True,
Or your
true.
mother-in-law?
Well, but unfortunately, I've never been able to work that angle at all. Never married a woman with a rich father-in-law. Anyway, but here's the thing. But the thing is that you need to focus on your business for sure. If you want your business to be 10x, you need to be focused on it. But at the same time, you need to be spending some time developing passive forms of income, or as you put it, you have to do some initial work to get them going, but then there's very little work after that. And that's what enables you to retire at an early age, is to get those streams of income. Now, it could be your business. You could be able to hire professional managers and take over your business, and your business becomes effectively passive income. But as I say, multimillionaires had an average of 7 forms of income. Investing is one of them. Real estate's often one of them. Owning multiple businesses is another one. Those kinds of things.
Thank you. Awesome point. And I want to connect to you from a different angle of a business owner. So when we tell people 10x your business, it can come from all kind of areas. And one of the things you actually did, because your business, like you said, has 2 locations in Las Vegas, which is the big hub. This is your base, and in Singapore. So what made you reach out? I understand the reaching out, but can you share about why specifically Singapore and going outside to 10x your business?
One of the critical things is that I give speeches all around the world. And I mean, literally to tens of thousands of people every year. I just finished doing a speech to 1,000 people. I'm about to do, in 3 weeks, I'm going to do a speech to 2,500 people. So it gave me an opportunity to go to major centers in the world. Plus, I had lived in London, I had lived in Geneva, and for a while I was retired. And I traveled around, and I realized that Singapore is a unbelievably good place to do business from, because there's no corruption, everything works, and there's a flood of money coming into this country from China and elsewhere. So Hong Kong used to be an excellent financial center, but Singapore is taking over as going to be the #2 asset management center in the world. So to me, it was great because it enabled me to immerse myself in a different culture. Although Singapore is very westernized, it's also an Eastern country. And but it's surrounded by other countries. In half an hour I can be in Malaysia, in an hour I can be in Thailand, and in 3 hours I can be in the Philippines or Taiwan, 4 hours I can be in India. So surrounded by other cultures. So to me, that was exciting for me as a person, but from a business person, this was a great place. English is the first language in Singapore. Everything works. You don't need lots and lots of licenses. There's no corruption. So for dealing in Asia, this is a great place to go from. So to me, I made the decision that to grow the business, I could get to a certain point in the United States, and the United States is the biggest economy. It's a great place for us to do business, and we still do most of our business there. But remember that the purpose of your business is to make your life better. So to me, the ability to make money and be in a cool location at the same time, perfect, just perfect.
Amazing. And you were talking about being on stage. So this is something we're actually having a dedicated podcast for that. But as a business owner, you're leveraging the stage the best way possible. Can you share a little bit about your experience on being on stages?
I've been doing public speaking really as a sales tool for almost 10 years. And almost 10 years. It's 9 years now. And that's where we get most of our customers, is public speaking. I highly recommend that people consider doing that as a sales tool. The basic strategy that I use is that I'll do a 90-minute speech, and 80 minutes to that are education. And I make sure that what I teach is something that's practical, that people can use. I reveal everything. It's always a trading technique, a way that they can make money in the market. And so I prove to them in front of their eyes that they can do it. Remember that in sales, there's only 2 things that the customer is thinking about. Does it work? And can I do it? So by getting up and for 80 minutes educating them, they see that it works because I show them the past and how it worked in the past. And then I go through a couple of live examples with them. And at one point in there, I say, tap yourself on the heart and say, I can do that. And they all go, I can do that, because I've shown them how easy it is to do it. Well, once they've done that, now look, they may not buy what I have to sell, one of my courses or something, but I've given them something. I've created goodwill, and those people will always remember me. And hopefully sometime down the road, they'll be interested in what we're doing, or they'll know someone who's interested in what we're doing. But it's always showing them the results of if they sign up in advance. That's the critical thing. So how can you do that on the internet? Much more difficult, much more difficult. People buy from their friends. They don't buy from strangers. So by me being in front of them, by joking, I always tell my story. I show them pictures of me as a kid. I take them through my career, the highs and the lows. And so they get to know me and they begin to feel like I'm a friend. So that's what I do in terms of selling, is teach people, give them something. And then at the very end, for 10 minutes, I describe to them what they're going to get if they take the course. No sales pitch at all, really. No sales pitch at all. But I was I got 250 clients at a speech in Bangalore last year, which is why I'm going to do another speech this year. Those courses sell for $3,000 or $4,000 each. That's not cheap. So you can see I like doing the speaking as a way of selling and connecting with people.
And it's fun, right? I'm on stages and you're as well. It's fun.
It can be fun. It can be fun. Absolutely right. So yeah, definitely. It's a thrill to be in front of 2,500 people.
So you were talking about, which is amazing numbers, and I know you speak in front of many people and you travel, and this is the lifestyle many business owners wish they could have. Eventually they can build it. And you were talking also about the internet. So of course the internet can't actually replace the touch, the actual touch when you meet with people, but the internet allows you to do other things and sometimes easier in terms of reach out to people. So in your business, how do you leverage the internet in order to get exposure and get clients?
I think that the main thing, the best thing that we use the internet for are really kind of a couple of different things. The first one is that once you've got somebody who's a client, then they're fine with getting internet connection from you. But once again, at least once a week or twice a week, they get free education from me. They get free market commentary from me. I don't want to pitch here, but if you go to iTunes, you can get a free 10-minute video every Monday. I give my opinion on the stock market, gold, foreign exchange, bonds, oil, and it's absolutely free. It's a podcast. I think you can search Courtney Smith or Wealth Builder, and you can get the podcast. So we're constantly using that to educate people. Once again, the more we can give to our prospects or to our students, the better our business is. So that's a big part of it, is that outreach. The second thing is it's quite easy to sell products that are cheap on the internet. So $39, a $10 book. We've sold webinars for $39 and sold a couple hundred of those. Well, that's $8,000. That's not so bad for doing a webinar. So lower price things. Not many people are going to buy one of our courses for $4,000 on the internet as cold traffic. Our existing students who've been to one of our classes, yeah, much easier, because they know the quality and the integrity of what we do. But for cold traffic, people who don't know who we are, we have to warm them up. We have to give them stuff for free. We have to inculcate them into the way we look at the world and see if it syncs with what they do. So
you build a relationship. You're basically building a relationship with them.
Yes, they buy from friends. So we need to build that relationship over time. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Awesome. And are you leveraging social media?
I don't think we do that good of a job there. But my understanding is that from what I've seen from studies, is that social media is not a good sales tool. But once again, it's a relationship building tool. In other words, people don't really buy off of Facebook. But, you know, I go onto Facebook every day. I've got thousands of friends. So it's a relationship building tool again. It's not a sales tool. That's my understanding, and that fits our experience. But that's what I've been told in studies. So we use it to build relationship, not to build sales.
And in some way, like you said, maybe in a lower and in some businesses it can generate sales.
No question.
But the base thing is, of course, about building the relationship. When you want, you know, if I want to check who's Courtney Smith, I would go and search Google, and Google would probably give me your LinkedIn and your Facebook, and just to check you out. So it has to be part of your strategy, like you do.
Correct.
So, you know, business owners have challenges all the time, and that's where you say, you know, you have to have a 10x mindset in order to be able to stand in front of the challenges that come in. You know, when the shit hit the fans, it comes to you as well.
That's right.
What do you see as challenges in the next couple of years or 3 years in businesses that want to grow fast? What are their challenges in your eyes?
Well, you know, look, people are usually the limitation in every business, in my opinion. Finding the right people for your business, that's critical. You've got to, first of all, find people that have high integrity.
You mean
that's a challenge, right?
Employees? When you say people, you mean employees?
Yeah. If you're going to grow a business 10x, how do you scale it? Well, your mind is probably not the limiting factor. A lot of people think, well, I have to have a lot of capital. Well, certainly if you're going to start a car company, you need a lot of capital. But for an information type business like mine, capital is of no consequence at all. It's people, you know, and buildings. Nobody comes to our office really. Well, I take that back. We actually have a classroom in our office in Las Vegas. But if we didn't have classes in our office, nobody would ever come see us, because we're you know, an internet company or a virtual company. So it's how do you get good people? I don't think I'm the best hiring person. I hire nice people that I like to be with. They're not always the best people for the job. I admit that. But I like to be with people I like to be with. So I must admit I have a bias and a soft touch. But integrity is important. You got to have high integrity people. You got to have people that are highly motivated to do what it is that needs to be done. I like to hire people that are self-motivated so that I don't have to manage everybody. I'm a trader. Every day I have to trade. So that takes up 4 hours of my day, just doing all my trading and research and things like that. So I don't have a lot of time to do marketing and management and things like that. So for me, I need self-starters. But on the other hand, then they're not trained as well as they should be. So to me, for my business, the limitation is always people. And then because people can then drive sales. And of course, that's the lifeblood of any entrepreneur, is getting sales. I heard a definition of an entrepreneur once. They said an entrepreneur was a person who goes out and gets a sale and then goes and does it again. There's a lot of truth to that. Because most small businessmen are just worried about getting to the next payroll. You brought up something a minute ago, and I looked it up over here. Every single day I have a certain daily routine that I go through. And one of the things that I read relates exactly to your 10X concept. And it says, it's 4 lines. The first one is make it. Number 2 is make it work. Number 3 is make it work right. And number 4 is make it work big. So those are 4 things that I think about every single day, is that if I'm doing something, how do I make it? How do I make it work? How do I make it work right? And how do I make it work big? And so that keeps my eye on the ball of how can I make this company go 10X.
Which you basically focus on income. That's what we say. You focus 90%, 95% on your time for, you know, on income, and the rest on the rest of the things, because you don't want to do it. And I don't think you should. And you were talking about the challenge of people. So I understand you myself. You know, it's always a challenge to find the right people. We always say hire for character and train for skill, which is a powerful thing to say, and it's something you should do. But eventually, you know, it is a task. And the thing is, when we say 10x your business, you were saying what's the way to 10x your business is get more people. So it's get more people or use the power of the internet. But use the power of the internet, sometimes it's too much. So you should outsource, which is like getting people.
That's right.
Are you doing outsourcing today in your business in some areas?
We outsource a lot. And in fact, I even ran a blog 15 or 20 years ago all about outsourcing. It's probably still up there, outsource411.com. But I haven't updated it in probably 10 years. But yeah, our bookkeeping is all done out of the Philippines. We count them as staff members, but I have people working for me in Indonesia, in Malaysia, South Africa. Yeah, we outsource a lot because here's the thing. When you hire people, you just said something, hire for character and then train for the skill. I love that a lot, but here's the reality. I may not have the skill to train them. So there's a lot of things that I know. I'm the oldest person in the company, so I have more experience, and so I can train on some subjects, but there's other subjects that I don't know anything about. So I'd rather outsource that job to an expert. And another great thing is I don't feel any moral obligation to a consultant. I feel a high moral obligation to an employee. So you can fire them tomorrow if you want, and that's a good thing, or hire them or double their workload tomorrow. So I love consultants. I love outsourcing things a lot. I do it a lot, and I've been doing it for years and years and years.
So you find it not only easier to manage them, but also easier to possibly can them?
Sure. If I don't need the work, we had a consultant that we hired for $500 a month. And then recently it was up to $2,500 a month because we just kept giving him a lot of work. And then we just dropped him down to $1,000. Well, he's a consultant. I mean, that's the business of being a consultant. On the other hand, we don't deduct taxes. We don't do any of that. He can do whatever he wants on taxes. He lives in a low-cost place, so the money we pay him goes a lot longer than if he was an American or a Singaporean. So yeah, I like outsourcing a lot. On the other hand, outsourced people have no passion for your business. They don't care. They're mercenaries. So there's pros and cons. Pros and cons. A mix of outsourcing and employees, I think, is the best.
It's always good to have at least one or two around you that really care about you and care about the business like it's their own.
That's right. And we have a business mission that's quite unusual. You know, most people have these boring mission statements that say, well, you know, we're going to respect the rights of our stakeholders, we love our employees and our customers, blah, blah, blah. Well, every company says that. Ours is a little bit different. Our business mission is to change people's lives. Now, that's a much bolder statement, but it has a lot of ramifications. And, you know, we're not doctors, so we can't do brain surgery, but we do know how to help people make money. So if I can help people make money, if I can help them become financially free, then our business mission is enabled. Now, we also are unusual because I don't have to make a living doing this business. Because I'm a professional trader, I can live off my money that I make trading. So the business we can do unusual things. Let me give an example. There's lots and lots of competition. There's lots and lots of people out there who purport to train you how to be a professional trader. But one of our courses, a course I'm giving in just a couple of weeks here in Singapore, is how to make a living as a trader. Well, one of the bonuses is that when you graduate from the course, I'll give you my money to learn how to trade with. And the biggest thing that people are afraid of is, well, I'm afraid I'm going to lose money. Okay, so it took us years to figure it out. So I give them some of my money to learn how to trade with. Now think about that. That's a pretty revolutionary concept.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And they go, whoa, what's the catch? And I go, there's no catch. And I tell them it's okay to lose my money. It's okay. I know that a lot of you will lose my money. I know a lot of you will make money for me. And then check this out. In that first block of money, I keep all the profits, but I take all the losses. But if they get to the next higher level, I split the profits with them. So in effect, I'm going to fund their education as a trader and hopefully create a lifestyle and a way to make a living that they can start out by using my money. So they don't really have to have any money at all to invest because they can start with mine. So we can do things like that that are creative because we don't have to worry about making money. I don't want to lose money with this business, okay? But I don't need to make money. I'd like to make money, but it's not my primary motivation.
So, for all the listeners, just listen to the business model. This is like amazing. And I just want to emphasize about thinking different. This is really interesting. You going few steps forward. You know what they're your clients. You were talking about knowing your clients. We always say you have to know your clients before you even begin. And if you began and you don't know exactly, so go back and do that at any point of time. And you know that what their fear, and you're actually helping them overcome that. And they value you for that for sure. And they also get results, which is amazing.
That's correct. That's the whole idea, right? The whole thing is if you can make your customer happy, in our case, they'll go buy more courses from us. It's that simple. So Absolutely. That's what we obsess about doing. In our business, our competition is not the other people in the business. They're really no competition for us at all. Our competition is the inertia of the student, that they buy the course and then they don't do it. So that's why we came up with this program of I'll give them some of my money, because then they have no excuse for worrying about losing money. They can lose mine. It's okay. I'm never going to yell at them. I'm never going to get mad at them. That's fine. And I hope they're super successful, because if they're super successful, they'll make a lot of money. And who else is going to make a lot of money? Me.
Of course.
So we now become partners. It's not a student-teacher relationship. It's a partner. And
some of them will refer you new clients as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So think about it too. I mean, from an ultimate business perspective, from a 10X perspective, you want to be partners with your customer as much as possible. The best business of all is one where you get a percentage of their profits, not just a fee for service, not just a price for a product. You want a piece of their business. So in this particular case, I've achieved that at least with this one group of people. But I think we're up over about 1,200 people are in that program now. I have one of the largest trading companies in the world, and nobody's ever heard of it.
And that also connects to the beginning of this podcast where you're talking about residual income. So basically now you'll be able to create yourself multiple hundreds of businesses where other people are doing their stuff and you get part of it.
That's right. You got it. They do the work. I provide the money, but they do the work. And that means I have traders 24 hours a day working for me. I love it.
Yeah, the ultimate system and model. So, Courtney, before we get to the end of the podcast, what are your goals for the next few years? What I know you want to help as many people as you can. That's your mission, and touch your lives. What's your goals like for the next 3 years in terms of where do you go? Are you staying in Singapore? Are you planning to expand? Just if you want to share a little bit.
I think from a physical location, it would be good to have some type of a location in the European time zone. I just spent a couple of weeks in Nice in France. I thought that would make a nice place to put an office. Wouldn't be bad, it's not so bad. Maybe Rome, that might be okay too. Maybe Israel, who knows, all right? But someplace warm and sunny, so maybe on the Mediterranean. I think we'll just, once again, I think we'll just continue to grow what we're doing. Initiatives, once again, we want to do things that nobody else does, like that Pro Trader program that I mentioned to you. We continue to want to be the leader in the industry. We want everybody to compete with us. We don't want to compete with anybody else. So it's also, I think more and more, I'm going to do less and less. So for example, over the last several years, 3 or 4 years, I've done 45 events a year, and we do them on the weekends. So that's only 7 weekends I didn't work last year. So this year, we're going to cut that down to about 25 events a year. And then next year, we'll probably do a few less, maybe 20 or 15. So we'll do less and less. But hopefully we can deliver more of the content over the internet. So we're going more towards online courses, or what we call a hybrid model, where we deliver video instruction and then have live group coaching. So trying to do more of that so we can leverage what we do really well, which is great content, to more people in more countries around the world. Because there's a physical limitation to how many events you can do, live events. but there's no limit to what you can do using the internet. So I want to use the internet more from a delivery perspective.
Awesome. Great goals for the next few years. Courtney, if someone, some of our listeners want to follow you and, learn more about you and about what you do, how can they reach you?
They can go to CourtneySmith.com. That's my blog. You can see a bunch of stuff there that I write about, get a vibe. Our corporate website is wealthbuilderllc.com, wealthbuilderllc.com. And of course, I'm on Facebook, Courtney D. Smith, I think. Courtney D. Smith on Facebook, and also Twitter, Courtney D. Smith.
Great. Courtney, I want to thank you very much. It was an amazing, interview. You had the greatest insights of a business owner of many years, international, looking at the 10X, how to expand. So thank you very much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much. And I hope all of your viewers learn so much from your podcast, because business is one of the most exciting, creative things that you can do. Forget art, creating jobs, creating products. This is the ultimate creative act as far as I'm concerned. So I appreciate being on your podcast, and it's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want to thank for the listeners, keep on listening, keep on taking the things we give you here. Lots of things you can actually take into your business. And I'll see you in the next podcast, in the next show. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the 10X Your Business podcast with Itay Paz at www.itaypaz.net/podcast. We will be back with another great podcast next week. If you're digging what you're hearing, your next step is to go to iTunes and in the search box, type 10X Your Business. Click on Itay's picture and go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. And if you're feeling generous and you want to help other business owners and entrepreneurs like you to find this podcast, then give us your rating and review. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.